From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Wednesday, September 10th, 2025.
Hi, I'm Arpan Lobo. I cover politics and state government for the Detroit Free Press. The legal saga of Michigan's so-called fake electors from the 2020 presidential election came to an end September 9th after a Lansing judge tossed out felony cases against them. 2 years ago, Attorney General Dana Nessel had announced 8 felony charges against 16 Michigan Republicans for allegedly trying to steer the 2020 election for President Donald Trump, who lost to former President Joe Biden that year in Michigan. After the election, the Republicans signed documents trying to cast Michigan's electoral votes for Trump. In court, their defense lawyers had said they did this at the instruction of Trump's campaign, and the group believed it was acting legally. Prosecutors, however, argued that by trying to swing the election results in Michigan for Trump, the group knowingly tried to defraud the state's voters. Ultimately, Judge Kristen Simmons decided the state hadn't proved its case enough to send it to trial. Simmons highlighted the testimony of several witnesses, including James Renner. Renner was among the 16 Republicans who signed the documents, but had his criminal case dropped after agreeing to testify for the government. But his testimony ended up benefiting the defense. Renner, who said he was a former law enforcement officer, testified during the preliminary examination that he didn't think he was doing anything wrong at the time he signed the documents. Other testimony provided during the case indicated Trump campaign attorneys had informed the group they were acting in the event the election results were somehow flipped to the Republican candidate that year. Nessel derided the ruling, saying the evidence was, quote, clear and overwhelming, unquote. She also said she is evaluating her options for an appeal.
This is Nusrat Rahman with the Detroit Free Press. In recent weeks, a rash of killings tied to domestic violence in Metro Detroit has prompted calls for stronger protection for victims by both advocates and loved ones of those killed. It began with 40-year-old Latricia Green, who was shot and killed at her job at Detroit's Henry Ford Hospital on August 22nd. Authorities have said the shooter was her ex-husband. Then, on August 29th, 24-year-old Brianna Frame was a victim of a murder-suicide by an ex-boyfriend in Hamtramck, according to a family member. The killing was done in front of their 10-month-old baby girl, her cousin told the Free Press. The next day, 20-year-old Sarah Carroll's ex-boyfriend shot the young woman in her Westland apartment several times, killing her before he turned the gun on himself, her mother said. On September 1st, a mother and her 12-year-old son were killed in their Hazel Park home by her brother, according to authorities. Experts say awareness of resources is key for victims of domestic violence to protect themselves and emphasize the importance of safety planning with an advocate and speaking up, even though it can be difficult. To learn more about resources for victims facing domestic violence, go to freep.com.
I'm Sue Solaski, Detroit Free Press food and restaurant writer. Earlier this year, the Britain-based authority on food and drink, the 50 Best brand, announced the launch of North America's 50 Best Restaurants list. As part of the new North America specific list, which includes the U.S., Canada, and parts of the Caribbean, are individual awards, including the Resy One to Watch Award, named for the online reservation site from American Express. Detroit restaurant Ladder 4 Wine Bar was named the inaugural recipient of the One to Watch Award. According to the 50 Best brand, the award recognized Ladder 4 Wine Bar as a, quote, rising star restaurant whose distinctive vision and culinary excellence have earned its recognition as a future leader on the North American stage. The director of content for North America's 50 Best Restaurants says the restaurant is a standout for its, quote, culinary vision and its, quote, commitment to authenticity. Located in a Detroit neighborhood and in a former restored 1910 Detroit Fire Department house, Ladder 4 Wine Bar opened in 2022. In 2023, Ladder 4 Wine Bar earned the Detroit Free Press Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers Restaurant of the Year designation. The 50 Best brand hailed Ladder 4's dining philosophy as, quote, warm and exacting, with a spotlight on a, quote, carefully curated wine program.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening, and you'll hear more from us tomorrow.